Hey guys, it's Kels back at it again with another video, another Friday night live. I promise you guys that each and every Friday night I will go live and show my face. So here I go, here I go, here I go, back at it again as promised. We are on to week 37 consistent of our Friday night kickbacks. You guys know the deal. Thursday nights, I drop 4 topic options here on YouTube in the community tab and over on Instagram in my stories. You guys vote. And on Friday nights, we get into the things, we get into the topics. You know what I mean? And so, right at the top of the broadcast, I usually do the topic rundown where I let you know the thinking behind each of the 4 topic options. And then we do the topic reveal. And then we start talking that talk, learning from the collective wisdom of the It's Kels community, decompressing from all the code switching that we have to do at these people's jobs all week, and just generally, shooting the shit, reconnecting with our fam, with our collective, with our It's Kels community. So appreciate y'all so much for being here. The consistency, it's the consistency, you know what I mean? And really, really excited on our way to 52 weeks consistent. The goal at the top of the year was to do these lives, reconnect with the community, show up, show up, show up for the community every single week. And we've been able to maintain that from the beginning of 2022. And we're going to ride it all the way to the wheels fall off to the end of 2022, and then we may even go beyond. It depends on what the collective feels like doing, you know what I mean? It depends on what the doll feels like doing, you know what I mean? It'll be a collective decision as to whether or not we continue on with this thing. But for now, it is 52 weeks the goal, and right now we're on 37, more than halfway there, more than halfway done with 2022 and our kickbacks. And so yeah, we just gotta clap it up for that and cheers to that. Clink, 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 clink. The consistency, yeah. So how have you guys been feeling? Oh, let's do a cheers. We cheers to consistency, but let's actually cheers also to, let's cheers to loyalty. Let's cheers to love, and let's cheers to, what was the third one? What was the third one that the princess said? Loyalty. What did King Charles say? Hold on, let me tell you what we're cheersing to today, because we had to give a shout out to the royal family. We have to. Okay, love, loyalty, and respect. Yes. Today we are cheersing to loyalty, respect, and love. Clink, 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 clink. Yes. So you know the deal. Come on in. Let me know what you are sipping on and where you are watching from. I already see the folks in the building. Apartment Life View in the building. IKR in the building. Yes. So here's the deal. So how have you guys been feeling this week? Let me know, sound off, if there's anything like top of mind for you that you want to talk about in the comments. For me, look, I heard this term used today, and I was like, that sounds a little bit negative, but I'm still going to use it. Somebody said, oh, I'm not a royalist, but so I'm only a little bit sad that the queen died. Let me tell you something. You guys know that this channel started when I moved to London. You guys know that the background is Jamaican over here, so Commonwealth country, right? I was sadder than expected when I heard that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II died. Like, I was not anticipating it. I knew she was up in age, but I wasn't really anticipating it or watching for her. But when I heard, my brother actually texted me, and he texted me and my mom, and he's like, well, family, the Queen Elizabeth died. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I literally was taken aback, and I didn't really anticipate that. But I do I do like the royal family. I do like London. I do like England. I have that background. That's the reason why I decided to go study there. And really, London is where I really kicked off my YouTube career. You know what I mean? And so it has a special place in my heart. And so I have to give literally a moment of silence for the Queen. And we are going to follow suit with King Charles III and toast to respect, love, and loyalty. Because I don't think there's no higher characteristics, higher things that we could toast to right now. So again, one time for the Queen and her 70-year reign, you know what I mean? Showing us how it's done, you know what I mean? And so, yeah. As you guys come in, let me know what you've been feeling this week. How's it been? Have you been like feeling like in your boss zone, getting your stuff done? Or are you feeling like, dang, it's heavy? It is a full moon in Pisces tomorrow. It's also today is the start of Mercury retrograde. And so if you follow the astrology or the charts or anything like that, you know that those are heavy hitters when it comes to getting your stuff done, communications, technology, mood, you know what I mean, attitude, and all of that. So how has it been feeling to y'all? Y'all want to talk about that a little bit? Also, in the meantime, it's just some H2O for the doll, lubricating the throat chakra, keeping that throat chakra lubricated. Sometimes I have a little brown to sip on, sometimes I have some tea, but today it's just H2O for the doll. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I remember when Princess Diana passed away, and I was the one watching the television at that time. And I said to my mom, "Mom, oh my God, Princess Diana died." And she was like, "Stop it. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that." And come to find out, the lady was dead as a doornail. And that was a whole saga. And that was very, very sad. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like, for me, the passing of the queen is not as sad as I felt when Diana passed away. But I still feel like, whoa, this is a monumental loss for somebody who has been so steadfast and so publicly visible for 70 years. You know what I mean? And what they say about her is she reigns but not rules. So she doesn't rule anything. She doesn't, she's not the one who gets to tell anybody what to do unequivocally, but she does reign, she does oversee, she does advise, she does advocate for, and things like that, and just been a steadfast public servant for 70 years. She's not a celebrity. Like, I think Americans have a hard time understanding the monarchy and royalty, because we think like if you're a celebrity, like that's equating to celebrity. It's absolutely not. It's not. You know what I mean? This is heritage, and it's bloodline, and it's culture, and it's long long shelf life. You know what I mean? Long standing. Not no Johnny come lately social media star pop up, reality star pop up, some rapper pop up. No ma'am. You know what I mean? This is legacy. You know what I mean? And this is holding the British culture steady for so many years, such that it is a mark on the world. Understand that England and London, all them, it's an island. Do y'all realize that? Do y'all realize that England is an island off the coast of Europe? It is not no big country. England is like the size. I believe when I was in England, we looked at it, and England is half the size of Florida, if not the full size of Florida. So that's small. That's small. And to have the influence that it has, to have its, colonial past and all of that. Listen, if you're an island that small and you don't want to be decimated, you don't want Russia to run through and capture your stuff, you better figure out a way to make yourself, indispensable to the globe. And clearly, England has been able to do that. You know what I mean? And like, so you got to clap it up. I think to have, a divine feminine, a queen, to reign that long, coming in when she was 25, and coming in at that time in 1940 something, right after World War II. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And she did that thing. She did that thing, and job well done. And it was time for her to go home and rest. And King Charles now said, he said, you know, he said something about letting the angels. What did he say? Let me look it up because I really loved it. It was a quote from Shakespeare's Othello, that he bid his mom farewell, and it was, what did he say? He said, King Charles. Let me look it up. He said, let me see. Let me look it up real quick. He said, angels. He was saying something about the angels sing you to thy rest. Let me see. I really liked it. May flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. It's a Shakespeare Othello quote. And it's just talking, it's like bidding a departed or deceased person farewell and asking for angels to greet them as they go into their afterlife. And I thought that was very fitting, words for his mom. So anyway, I just had to take the top of our broadcast tonight to shout out the royal family, the monarchy, and I enjoy them. And I see a lot of Black people and brown people, and all of this running off their mouth, at a very, about, colonialism and all of this and all of that. And I think we're going to get a little bit into that tonight, because I think it's a little bit hypocritical, for you to be defending your ancestors in that way when you're not even doing the work that your ancestors laid the groundwork for you to do. So you're spending more time criticizing than creating. And that's going to come up in tonight's topic, because I already peeped what y'all wanted to talk about tonight. And the topic you guys wanted to talk about tonight was how when you're stunting your level up. And criticizing instead of creating is one of the main reasons, the main ways you stunt your level up. So we're going to get into it tonight, because I'm going to have to read some people for filth, because these fake woke got so much to say about what they heard somebody else say about somebody else, and ain't doing the work that your ancestors gave their life for you to do. So stop criticizing, start creating, and stop running off your mouth about things you don't understand. So anyway, that's me. That's my little rant for the top of the hour. But y'all let me know what you're feeling. You know what I mean? And so, okay, Apartment Love, you said, I was sad about Diana, but I carried on when Elizabeth passed. Yeah, I understand that. I feel like Diana was definitely the people's princess, and Elizabeth was seemed to be very stoic through all of the years. But to be honest with you, if any of you have a Caribbean grandmother, if any one of you have like an African grandmother, if any one of you has like an old European grandmother, Polish, you know what I mean, even Russian, any of those types of grandmothers, they all kind of behave like Elizabeth. Remember that this woman was born in the 1920s. So she's not going to be like Princess Diana, who was born in the 70s, who's, you know what I mean, like, who's like a blonde, pretty girl, kind of thing. This woman was, is our great grandmother's age, our grandmother's age. My great grandmother was born in 1918. I believe the Queen was born something like in 1920 something. So think back at how your grandmother, if you are so blessed and so lucky to know your grandmother, think back to how they were. They're not like these little 35-year-old grandmas around here, or these little 45-year-old grandmas. They're going to carry themselves usually with a lot of dignity, a lot of respect, a lot of silent strength, a lot of stoicism, not showing a lot of emotion, because that was necessary from your grandmothers at that time. So you can't expect the Queen to be pussy popping like these little 45-year-old grandmas. You know what I mean? She was gonna be stoic. You know what I mean? And so I feel your Apartment Life view. I feel like Diana's passing was definitely shocking. Diana was only 36 when she passed away. 36 years old. You know what I mean? And so the Queen was 90, 96, 98, up there. But I saw somebody say they were doing like a Jamaican, reactions to the Queen or whatever. And someone was like, well, she was 96. I kind of expected it. She's up age, whatever. And, my response in my head was, I said, wait till your grandmother, wait till your mother, wait till your father reach them age and dead, and you will see whether or not their age matter when they kick the bucket. Because I can tell you right now, they could have been 196. When your loved one kicked the bucket, you almost want dead with them. You almost want dead with them. Because the pain, let me tell you something, that pain about when your loved one kicked the bucket, whether they, 36 or 46 or 96 or 196, that pain still lick you the same. It still lick you the same. So it's easy, when you don't experience it, you can see other people die and you think, oh my God, that's very sad. You know what I mean? But when it's your family member, the breath gets taken out of your chest. I'm sorry to be the one to deliver this information to you, because I know before anybody that was close to me super close to me passed away, I thought you would be able to manage it like a normal pain or something like that. That's not how it is. And everybody else around me, were, I guess, a little bit less emotional. So when their parents passed away, when my elders' parents passed away, they, it was like, okay, it was her time to go. When my parent passed away, a bus ran me over for 2 years. So I just laughed when I heard that girl say, oh, well, she was 96. It's to be expected. I said, wait till your mother reached them age and she ready to go. You're going to see what to be expected really feel like. Anyway, I'm sorry to tell you, but and no amount of preparing, you're going to prepare you for that. You know what I mean? It's everybody, we're all on that slow march to death. You know what I mean? And, the worry, one thing I do want to say is the worry about death is actually worse than the actual death itself. And I heard somebody say that on one of my readers or one of my spiritual gurus that I watch on YouTube. And I felt that. I felt like that. Like the fear of death is actually a worse experience than the actual death itself. And so anyway, so I don't say that to scare anybody, but I just say that to be realistic about it, because I felt like I never had a realistic portrayal of what it actually was. And even if I did, I don't even think I still wouldn't have been prepared. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'm like, damn, nobody said, everybody act like it was just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It ain't no 1, 2, 3 when it's your family member. You know what I mean? But here's the comforting part about it. We're all going to have to experience that. You know what I mean? And so it's a common human, grieving, shake up tower moment experience, and find comfort in that you are not alone in it, and all of us have to go through it in one capacity or the other, unless you die as some sort of infant and then you never experience anything. You know what I mean? But as we have the blessing of getting older in our lives and carrying on in the full journey of our lives, you are going to experience your loved ones passing on. And it's not until you actually experience with somebody that you absolutely love do you have the true understanding and the true compassion for somebody else when their loved one passes on. And so sometimes when I see these flippant comments from people like, oh, she was 96, it was to be expected. All I have to do, I just laugh, because I said, wait till you experience it and see if you can skin up and grin up your teeth about death like you're doing now when it happens to you. Okay. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Mm-hmm. But one time for the Queen, and one time for King Charles III. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I see Marjorie in the building. Oh my God. I was catching up on last week and almost missed today. Every Friday, sis, we're here 7:00 or thereabouts, consistent. We're on to week 37, on our way to week 52. You know what I mean? And so we're gonna make it do what it do from now until the end of the year, almost more than halfway through the year, and all of that. Marjorie says my grandmothers were in their 90s. Same with one grandpa. Still hurts. It still hurts. It is like such a rocking, like a soul rocking experience. You know what I mean? And so I definitely have compassion. I understand, what it is. And you have to understand the duty of the monarch and the duty of that role. Literally, this man's mom died yesterday, and now he has to be on TV giving an address, reassuring the crowd that he is going to be, this profound leader, and he's going to serve, in under the, the tutelage of his mother, and shaking hands and kissing babies. This is public service. You know what I mean? There's no time to be depressed. There's no time to be sad. He got to get on with it. And I think one thing, and before I get into the topic, I'm gonna say this one thing. I think we think that money, like we think that the royal family with their money makes them immune to human emotions and human experiences. It doesn't. It doesn't. I think we have a hard time reconciling that rich people or wealthy people or people of prestige or even the person next door that maybe doesn't look like us, they have this, they bleed the same blood, they have the same, emotions, regardless of if they have some sort of monetary resources at their disposal or not. You know what I mean? His mother still died. You know what I mean? Like his father, the man's father just died last year. When my dad died, I couldn't tie my shoe for 2 years. Y'all saw me drop off the face of the earth. I was off YouTube. I couldn't even, and you see how much I talk now. So imagine me tongue tied, don't have nothing to say for 2.5 years when my dad died. So imagine this man where his dad died last year, then immediately his mom died. He's an orphan, but he's up doing his duty. Nobility obliges. Nobility obliges. And I don't think, I don't have a problem with them. Do I feel like they're somebody that I'm bowing to? No, I just think that that's what they're born into. That was the journey that they were born into, and they do their work. You know what I mean? And their entire life could not be anything but what they were born into. Imagine being born into captivity. What if I told you that royal family and that monarchy was actually slavery? It's only Harry escaped. It's only Harry and Meghan being Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. It's only them two ran away to America. The rest of them, they was born into the slavery of the monarchy. You know what I mean? And so they have to follow nobility obliges. They are in public service for the entirety of their life. You know what I mean? I think people think, oh, they have crowns and money and castles and stuff, that you can't take it with you. They bleed the same blood. They have the same emotions. They're suffering the same depression. Imagine if you grew up in a family and your father said you must do this job, and then you didn't have no opportunity to do what your heart desires. You can only do what you were born into. So now you have to take over your father's job. Imagine that. How many stories you hear like, oh, my father was a chicken farmer and then he wanted me to run the farm, and I didn't want to, so I ran away to New York, or I ran away to the big city and I got to live my life. Yeah, well, them royals don't get to do that, except Harry and Meghan. Except Harry and Meghan. And low-key, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get into the topic. Low-key, Harry need to take his ass back over to London, like ASAP. They need help. William and Kate and his dad need help. He need to go ahead and take his behind back over and help run the country, and stop running up and down with Meghan over in California, not doing anything, talking about they producing podcasts. Take your ass back to your country and go be in your noble bloodline, and stop being a coward. Okay. And mind you, I love Harry. He need to take his behind back over and go finish his duty ASAP. Him and Meghan, matter of fact. Okay, so that's my rant. That's my rant about the royal family and what we're seeing right now with the Queen and the new King and all of that. And so we're going to hold on. What is Marjorie saying in the comments? Hold on, let me see. She says, Maya said, I was so excited when I saw it was almost 7 p.m. Ran to grab my earpods. Yay! Thanks, love. I felt bad for him having to shake a bunch of hands and having to be public. Right. His dad just died a year ago. Then his mom died. Now he has to. Now it's like responsibility, and then in the public eye. And I don't think you guys understand how the British tabloid press will eat your skin. They will eat you alive. You know what I mean? And so it's like your entire life has been under a microscope. They've never had a private moment. You know what I mean? Unless they're up in Balmoral, buried away, under acres and in that big ass cold ass castle or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And so, it's a lot harder than I think people give them credit for. And I respect the position because they really put England and Britain on the map. They really did. And if your country was some little small island the size of the state of Florida, you know what I mean, that could easily be taken over by anything around that. Russia them, you know what I mean, Germany them, Northern Africa, you know, but anybody could have flew over there, try to take them over, and they've been able to sustain. And yeah, unscrupulous things happen all the time, especially here in America. Ooh. All right, so that's it. That's it. Can't even marry for love. Nope. Harry did it. Then they ate his skin, and now, you know, now he over here talking about they have our Archie podcast and all of this. Take your behind back over to the London. Go do your work, and stop your foolishness. Okay. So all right. So we're already 25 minutes in of me ranting. We didn't even get into the topic reveal. We didn't do the topic rundown, but we'll get into that right now. Let's let me just say that even the reason why this queen was the actual queen was because she wasn't in line. She wasn't in direct line to be the queen. Her father got to be king because her father's brother, who was the one in line who was the king, abdicated the throne. He abdicated the throne to marry, you know, a commoner, you know, one of us. Not black, but just common, just regular folk, right? So he abdicated the throne to marry who he wanted to marry. So that put Queen Elizabeth II's father in line to be the king. So he was the king. So that's like William abdicating the throne. So Harry became king, Harry dying, and Lilibet, Harry's daughter, being the queen. That's how the queen ended up being the queen. She wasn't even in the direct book. She wasn't even supposed to be it. She wasn't even supposed to be it. And then reigned for 70 years. If that's not ordained, you know what I mean? If that's not ordained, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? And so she did a good job. You know what I mean? And so, you know, her uncle abdicated the throne. Her father became king. Her father died. And by the time she was 26, she was in that bad boy. 1940, whatever, 6 or 47 or 8, or one of them early years when the world was halfway backwards. You know what I mean? And so low key, we still backwards. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, I really like the royal family. I'm not into the negative politics. I don't care. I just like the idea of how they've been able to sustain the culture of Britain and and the marketing of it. I'm a marketer, y'all know that. And so the marketing of it over all these years, all the visits that she's done through the Commonwealth and all of that, it's marketing this island nation to the world. You know what I mean? So anyway, she did her time and she's passed on now. And so now it's King Charles. Okay, so let's do our topic rundown. Our topic rundown for tonight. So you guys know every Thursday night we drop 4 topic options. Everybody votes, and then Friday night we get into the things. You know what I mean? And so tonight we're a little bit delayed because I had to do a little bit of royal family ranting because normally I always do reactions to things that happen there, the things that are interesting. I think the last royal family reaction I did was Meghan and Harry when they got married, and that video actually did really well. If you want to see it, it's on my channel. But I might do like a little bit of a separate video. Maybe I'll ask Florette, you know, our resident London girl, our painting, to do a split video with me and talk about the royal family. But here's the thing, low key, she's from London, and they can't, you know, and you know, YouTube is a public platform, so she can't be running off her mouth saying anything she want on a public platform being from London like that. Like they're not tyrants or anything like that, but you don't want to you don't want to say anything ill about. That's like me. That's like when Kathy Griffin did that really bad thing about Trump, and then all of a sudden got blackballed off of everything, even in very free America. Well, you know, same thing. Anywhere, you know, you don't really want to speak super ill of your political figures, especially if you don't really care that much, because you don't really want to stunt your chances of doing anything. But anyway, so I don't know if Flora's going to do a little dual video with us, but or I might do some more talking about it, but I don't know. I feel like I talked enough about it, and so you guys can see that I'm a little bit of a fangirl. So I think that's enough for the time being. Okay, so our 4 topic options going into the topic rundown tonight. The first one was how to work smarter, not harder. Hashtag soft life. Okay, I see so many people on Instagram particularly living hard life for no reason. It's almost as if they like to complain. It's almost as if they like the punishment. What is it, masochist? What is it, masochist? S&M. It's like y'all like the beating. It's like you is secretly low key, you like the miserable life. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, why are y'all working so hard? Y'all doing it. You like it. You like the beating. You know what I mean? And so I kind of wanted to talk about that. Is like, are we actually interested in working smarter? Or are y'all just sitting here just working hard and love to and want to complain about it? You know what I mean? And so that was what we were getting at with that first topic option. Topic that came in at 29% over on Instagram. Yeah. And then our second topic option, how to stop judging yourself so harshly. This came in at 0%, but let me tell you, this was a big thing for me this week. I realized I'm going through some, reevaluating some processes and protocols and some systems in my life and basically how I do things. And I recognized in one instance that the reason why I was having a hard time getting momentum going on something that I wanted to do was because I was judging, my mind was judging it as inappropriate, you know what I mean? Or as not being as productive as I should have been. And for some reason I was like, I know what I did. I have decided to be more aligned when I'm trying to accomplish something. And for me, alignment looks like actually quieting my mind and meditating so that I can hear what my heart wants me to do. Right. And so for some reason I was stifled on what I was trying to do. And then I said, oh, let me meditate. Let me get aligned. Let me plug in. Let me quiet my mind. And when I quieted my mind, I realized that my heart wanted me to do that thing and my head was judging it. So that's why I was like, what should I, like, that's why before I meditated, I couldn't understand why I was so torn about what to do. And when I quieted my mind, my heart was very clear, like, I want you to do that. And then it wasn't as productive as my mind wanted it to be. So that's why I was like a little bit out of head around it. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that and talk about judging ourselves, you know what I mean? Judging what we want to do and those types of things. So y'all, that came in at 0% on Instagram. Y'all, I want to talk about judging yourself so harshly, but I already worked through it in my journal, so I'm good. I'm good. So option number 3 was how to realize you're stunting your own level up. How to realize that you're stunting your own level up. We got into a little bit of it earlier today when we were talking about everybody being so willing to criticize, but nobody being willing to create their own reality. You want to criticize the reality that was created for you before you got here, not realizing that it's your time to create now. So get ready for other people to criticize your non-creative ass. Okay, 43%. Number 1 topic, we gonna get into it. All right. And so we'll get into it. And then our 4th option was, what's the point of being obedient to your heart? What's the point of listening to what your heart wants you to do? And again, it was talking about, like, for me, I was gonna get into why it's important to be obedient to your heart, because your heart is always pointing you in the right direction. And it's just whether or not you have the obedience, the receptivity to hear, and the courage and bravery to actually do what your heart is telling you to do. You know what I mean? And what the repercussions of that would be, whether they be positive or negative. And so we've touched on that topic a little bit in some of our past lives, usually like in the middle of a conversation. So I decided to pull that one forward just so we can have a clearer discussion about the being obedient to one's heart, being obedient to one's own inner calling. You know what I mean? And not from the intellectual or the mental perspective, but from the heart, from the soul's perspective, from the soul's calling. You know what I mean? Interesting shift there. Yeah. 29% that came in tied for 2nd place. And so our number 1 topic for tonight is going to be, according to Instagram, is going to be how to realize you're stunting your own level up. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you guys know I always have my little notes. A few minutes before the live, I try to jot down a few things so that I'm not fumbling and stumbling over my words. But it's not much time to do that. So it's really top of the dome type stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the community tab over on YouTube and see what everybody voted for. Oops. There we go. I'm hearing the volume. Okay. So it looks like the vote was only split between two of the topic options over on YouTube. The number one topic option over on YouTube, how to realize you're stunting your own level up. Hashtag own worst enemy. Your own worst enemy. That came in at 67% on YouTube. And so it's looking like not YouTube and Instagram voting the same. We haven't had that in a while, right? We haven't had that, both audiences wanting to talk about the same topic for a while. So it's looking like we're going to have to get deep into it tonight. And then the number two voting on YouTube was how to work smarter, not harder, hashtag soft life. So now that you guys already know the background on all of our topic options, we'll take a quick spin through the comments, see what you guys are talking about, what you're sipping on, how this week has been feeling, what you want to chime in with right now. Always learning from the collective wisdom of the It's Kels community. And then we're going to get into talking about how you know how to realize you're stunting your own level up. Yeah. Let's have a look-see. Oh, Marjorie is saying an American woman, Mrs. Simpson, a divorcee. Okay, so that must have been who Queen Elizabeth II's uncle abdicated the throne for. Mrs. Simpson, a divorcee. Sound familiar? Meghan Markle. All right. So, and let me say this. I'm a fan of Meghan Markle. I actually am not. I'm being like facetious right now. Like I'm just, being annoying. But I don't have a problem with the woman being divorced or her age or her race or her none of that. I'm happy for her. I was happy when her and Harry married. What I'm not quite happy about is them scurrying off to California. I don't like that. Like, take the summer, do that for a summer, but take your behind back over to your country and go do your noble duty. You know what I mean? So I ain't like that running off to California thing. I think you can do it for 3 months out the year and take a long vacation, but you need to be working royals. Okay. All right. So Parma Life View is saying soft life, hustle till you die is not it. Not it. Is not it. You know what I mean? Let me see what I can do. Oh, I'm wondering if trying to see if I messed up the. Okay, you guys know I have my monitor over here. I feel like I'm off-centered. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, then Marjorie is saying, cheers, vodka with sparkling water. Yes. You know what? I've started cutting out sugary chasers with my liqueur because it doesn't make me feel good. The other night I had like bourbon with not ginger beer. Ginger beer would have been okay. With ginger ale. And not my stomach doing flip-flops. And then I had written down, like, because I've been having like some stomach issues. So I was writing down, when, what I was eating when my stomach was hurting me. Come to find out, the last time my stomach really, really hurt me, it was the same drink. Bourbon and ginger ale. So I'm loving the sparkling water because, I don't know, in this old age, it looked like sugary drinks don't sit well with the doll. I don't know what to say. Okay. I don't know what to say. Cheers. Clink, clink, clink. Vodka and sparkling water. Okay. I feel like this is a little bit too high, but what can I do about it? Yeah, I can't do the sweet mix-ins. It makes my stomach hurt. I can't even believe that, but it does. Okay. So All right. So what do we mean by, hold on, let me go here. What do we mean by stunting your own level up? What do we mean by stunting your own level up? Tonight's topic is how to realize you're stunting your own level up. Let's start with level up. When we talk about level up, you guys know that one of the main topics on this channel is the level up. What are we talking about when we say level up? Traditionally, usually the ladies and Shira and all of them and Universe Guru, they're talking about level up in terms of a hypergamy, right? So marrying up. But level up to me has expanded from that kind of linear view of, oh, leveling up in terms of who you marry, to also just level up your personal growth, doing the inner work necessary to transform yourself throughout this life journey. You know what I mean? Kind of like to reinvent yourself throughout this life journey. So it's always a continual kind of helix, spiral staircase of leveling up, doing the inner work, doing the personal growth work, being observational, looking for the evidence, getting more spiritual, getting more in touch with who you are and the divinity that resides within you. All of that is a part of the level up journey. So it's really this kind of holistic, expansive view of leveling up. Okay? So that's what we mean by the level up, right? And then when you say stunting, what do we mean by stunting? Stunting, now, you know, the little slang mean like, oh, he's stunting on, they stunting on, you know, he's stunting on them, you know what I mean? Showing off. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is hindering. You're stunting your growth. You're hindering your growth. You're putting a wrench in your growth. You're hating on yourself. You're cock blocking yourself. You're cock blocking yourself. You know what I mean? You're stunting your growth. You're stunting your level up. That's what we're talking about here, and how to realize that that's what you're doing, or how to realize that what you're doing is actually stunting your growth. You think what you're doing is you should be doing it and it's normal and ain't no problem with it, not realizing that you're stunting yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're cutting off your own nose to spite your face. Oh, you ain't no doing that, did that? Well, I'm about to tell you today what those are, and things that you may be inadvertently doing that are stunting your level up. Okay. And of course, the collective is going to chime in the comments and add color and add personal stories. They going to add, you know, what we missing, what we think we need to add to it, because we learn from the collective wisdom of the It's Kells community. I'm hyped today. I was sad yesterday, y'all. I had work to do and I was sad. I was like, why am I so sad? I was sad. It is a paradigm shift. It is a paradigm shift. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of, you know, when you start to do your level up or your spiritual evolution or your personal growth, there are a lot of things that you see in your life that also, they're not just at face value. They actually are, when I want to say emblematic, I think that's the right word, emblematic of other deeper narratives and stories and life themes. And I think a lot of people think that the queen or the royal family is like this imposed rulership on your life. And we are no longer in those times. For me, I see them as an external view of your own inner monarchy, your own inner queendom and kingdom, and how to conduct yourself with loyalty, with respect and love within your own dominion. Within your own dominion. You know what I mean? And so when you look at how she was able to govern outwardly her dominion, you can take inspiration from that to be able to govern your own dominion likewise. They ain't ruling nobody. You know what I mean? They just reign. They just display a level of integrity that you can take some inspiration from. And of course, everybody has pitfalls. With the first one, let he without sin cast the first stone. Not me remembering my biblical references. Not me knowing how to say what I just said. Mandy, can I repeat that? Let he who be without sin cast the first stone. Sunday school teacher. Is Anna in the building? Anna's mama was our Sunday school teacher. She would be proud that I actually remember that. You know what I mean? So, of course, everybody has a checkered past. Of course, people are not perfect, but I think that there's definitely some inspiration to be taken to be able to govern our own inner kingdom and queendom accordingly. You know what I mean? And so for her to pass away, it's just like almost saying that maybe the masses have gotten to the point collectively in our collective consciousness that we don't necessarily need that external emblem or that external symbol of how to conduct and how to rule your own kingdom or reign over your own kingdom. Maybe now the masses have inherited the earth. So back to what we were talking about, how to realize you're stunting your own level up. We define what we meant by stunting. We define what we meant by level up. I think the first thing, just carrying on with the conversation about the queen and her queendom and her reign, you externalize your power. You externalize your power is the first way that you may be stunting your level up. What do we mean by externalize your power? You think that other people have dominion or authority or say over your life past childhood. You let things that happened in your past or in your childhood, unforgiveness, abuse, unworthiness, those types of things govern how you conduct yourself. You've externalized your power. You don't recognize and realize just how powerful we actually are in our lives. You know what I mean? We complain, we criticize those in authority and those in power because we think they have more command over us than they actually do. We don't recognize that we are the master of our faith, master of our fate, captain of our soul, and that we are the chief orchestrator and chief magician of our lives. We externalize our power. We don't recognize our power. We don't recognize that the same power and authority that's imbued in the royal family or imbued in the president or imbued in our boss is imbued in us as well. All right. Externalizing your power. Move to the left a little bit. Got it. Oh, look at my lip gloss on that side. Let me turn the cup. Oops, dropped my phone. Let me turn the cup again. Yeah. Move to the left a little bit. Got it. Who is this woman, Harpo? Anybody want to tell King Stennis who this woman is? Anybody want to tell King Stennis who the doll is? Thank you for joining us, love. Thank you for being here. All right. So that's the first thing, externalizing our power. What else can we say about externalizing our power? Yeah, I think we've said enough there. We drop a few gems. The gems is heavy around these parts. We drop the gems and we let that marinate. You know what I mean? We let that marinate. Second way you might not realize you're stunting your own level up. You don't create, you only criticize. You don't create, you only criticize. At the top of the broadcast, we talked a little bit about this. So let me tell you what this looks like. This looks like we're going to do a very relevant instance. You see everybody talking about the criticizing the reign of the queen and criticizing the colonial past of the British, imperial empire and dynasty and things like that. And we get that. We absolutely understand that is to be criticized because it wasn't fair and right, and it comes from the paradigm of lack instead of the paradigm of abundance. It comes from the paradigm of if they have, we can't have, or if we can't have, they have, so we have to take. And that is an old, outdated, antiquated mindset that we're moving away from. That's why there's so much talk of abundance and wealth, you know what I mean, and flow and ease and those types of things. Those are abundance mindsets that we are collectively moving into. So yes, they were the perpetrators of that lack mindset, that colonial mindset that ruled the globe in their time. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it can be criticized. So I get that. I do get criticizing it. But I think what people don't understand about it is that if you spend all your time creating, if you spend all your time criticizing what has been created in the past, what those people created, instead of using your time, your effort, and your resources, creating the world that you like to see instead, you're just as bad as them. Not only are you just as bad as them, recognize that you are amplifying their legacy and what they created and how it was to the detriment of your ancestors. And you're not living out the world and the desires that your ancestors had for you and died for you to live out. So stop spending all that time criticizing history and criticizing what they did wrong and pointing fingers and judging outwards, and start creating some shit. Start deciding what you would like to see in the world. Start deciding how to move towards it, how to focus it into manifestation, realizing that you are a powerful creator of your reality. If you don't start doing that, you're going dead off of this earth, only having criticized what already was created before you were born, and not living out the true desires that your ancestors are waiting for you to live out and waiting for you to create, and died trying to, laying the groundwork for you to create. Stop criticizing and start creating. And let me tell you something about starting creating. Accountability. You think that you sitting here criticizing what the Queen them did and what Obama them did and what Trump them did and Mary, Tom, and Harry, all like criticizing all what they did, and you not creating a doggone thing. When we criticize the baby boomers, damn, the baby boomers, they got us, they don't even have us have no maternity health care. They don't have us doing nothing. What the hell was the baby boomers doing? What the hell are you doing, millennial? What are you creating, Gen Z, except damn stupid ass TikTok videos shaking your little flat behind or your fake BBL booty? What is it that you're creating? It's your time to inherit the earth. It's your time to create. So you don't even realize that you're stunting your own level up, sitting here criticizing instead of creating. Okay. I'm done ranting. I feel like I'm on a rant. I am dead ranting tonight. I am so ranty. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes it's a rant. Sometimes it's a rant. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a rant. So number 1, externalizing your power. Number 2, criticizing instead of creating. How to realize that you're stunting your own level up. Cheers. Clink, clink. A little H2O for the throat chakra. Keeping that throat chakra lubricated. Okay. Rube's in the building. We're week 37, just joining now after a long travel week. How's it going, collective? Yes, Rube's in the building. Okay. So Rubes, we're talking about how to realize you're stunting your own level up. Number 1 was externalizing your power. Number 2 was criticizing instead of creating. Criticizing what the old guard created instead of realizing that what do you call that? The tides have turned, the guard has changed, and now you are in the driver's seat. Now you will be accountable for what is created moving forward. And so instead of recognizing and getting to work on creating the new world, the new earth, you're sitting here criticizing what they done did. Stunt your own level up. Stunt your own level up. Number 3, you judge yourself and others too harshly. I was talking about this earlier and how I was telling you guys, I was like stifled in I wanted to do something and I couldn't, I was like, dang, I couldn't get myself up to go and do it. And I couldn't understand what my problem was. Said, oh, let me plug in, let me align, let me meditate, let me quiet my mind just for a little bit. And after I quieted my mind, my heart was unequivocal in what it wanted to do. And I realized, I was stifled because my mind was judging what my heart wanted to do, because what my heart wanted to do didn't feel productive enough. It didn't feel productive enough because my heart always wants to play. My heart always wants to play. But I recognize in my design that even in play, momentum is moving in my favor. And so sometimes you got to follow your heart to play. You know what I mean? Because after you come back from your play, you find that what you're trying to do flows easier. You're more inspired, and it's inspired, aligned action instead of that forcing, hustling, grinding that I'm not trying to do no more. I don't know about you, but I'm not into that no more. You know what I mean? It's all aligned action over here. You know what I mean? And so that was my experience this week of that judgment. But and it's definitely a way that you stunt your own level up, is you're judging yourself too harshly, you're judging others too harshly. And I think you can almost miss that that's what you're doing. You have to be very cognizant, you have to be very aware and very receptive and open to God showing you what you need to see about yourself, God showing you your patterns and your habits of thought and your habits of behavior, and identifying the ones that no longer serve you, the ones that no longer serve the leveled up version of you, the one that's doing the inner work, the one that is ascending, recognizing like, oh, that mindset, that judgment mindset is not serving me. It's actually stifling me. It's actually putting up resistance to what I want to do. And your job is to soothe yourself out of that resistance so that your momentum can pick up in the direction of what you're trying to manifest or in the direction of your desires. Yeah. And so that judgment has a tendency to be the resistance that you have to let go of so that momentum can flow in the direction of what you want, the natural flow of well-being that is designed for us, that is promised to us. Let me say one thing. That rainbow over Buckingham Palace when the Queen died, I want to tell you guys that that was not, as far as I understand, or understand or overstand, those are never coinky dinks. That ain't no coinky dink. When my dad died, I was driving over that day. I was driving over to my brother's house, and he lived about 25 minutes away. And I was on the phone with Ruby and talking. I don't even remember what we were talking about. My dad's death, probably. And the GPS took me a weird route. And I don't know why the GPS took me this weird route when normally it would have taken me straight to my brother's place. And it wasn't like I didn't see, there wasn't like an accident. It's like, I don't know if I missed a turn in my grief or I don't know what happened, but I ended up going a different way, trying to listen to the GPS and also trying to talk on the phone. And it was raining. And when I got close to my brother's house and I was turning right on the road, this was named after a state, let's call it Alaska Street. It's like I turned the car, mind you, this is the same day my dad died. It's like I turned the car, and I turned right into a rainbow. Not seeing the rainbow over there and looking and seeing a big arch or seeing like a streak of a rainbow. No. I turned the car and I was in the middle of a rainbow. Okay? The cars in front of me were splashing in the water, kicking up rainbows underneath the tires. Rainbows. I was in a rainbow. I had never seen anything like that in my life. Never seen anything like that in my life. And I took it as a sign, as I do. I bust out crying, because as I do. And I later understood that when somebody passes, the phrase that's used is that they're crossing the rainbow bridge. They've crossed the rainbow bridge. I didn't know that. I learned that probably a year after my dad died, but I always remember being guided into the center of a rainbow, the day my dad died. And every time I see a rainbow after that, it is like a little kiss on the cheek. So when the queen died and the rainbow appeared over Buckingham Palace, it felt to me a similar acknowledgement. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I don't know why I wanted to say that story, but I feel like maybe somebody needed to hear that or understand that. Or maybe you've had a similar experience that you didn't realize that is common for us, especially when somebody of importance dies. So, yeah, I don't know how I got to that story, but I think somebody needs to hear that. That might be why. That might be why. Yeah. Rubes is saying, yes, the rainbow, was thinking the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, I saw that and I thought, the rainbow bridge. And it's also a symbol of God's promise to us that well-being is our birthright. I think that's probably why. I think that's probably how I got to that, is that, as you're trying to manifest, as you get yourself aligned, quiet your mind, quiet that judgment, you allow your vibration to rise, and that well-being that is promised to us. Rainbow is a symbol of that well-being. It flows to you because the resistance presented by the judgment is released. Okay, I'm gonna go on off that topic because that's a little bit of a, you got to be into this inner work journey. You know what I mean? You have to be well into your spiritual awakening to get some of what we're talking about. But you know what? I feel like the collective really, I feel like y'all really be, in the thick of the thick with me. So hopefully that's comforting to somebody, and somebody needs to hear it. Whether you're catching us live, like Rubes, like Marjorie, like Apartment Live View, like I know IKR, like what's the gentleman who said, who is this? Harpo, who this woman? Like Kingston is talking about who this woman? It's the doll. It's Kels back at it again. You know what I mean? So whether you're catching us on the live in the chat tonight, or if you're catching us on a replay, gang, drop this emoji in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. I feel like somebody either live or in the replay, gang needed to hear that rainbow story. So anyway, okay. So judging yourself or others too harshly might be the third way that you are stunting your own level up. You know what I mean? So I have accountability written here, not taking accountability. And I think this kind of ties to our one about not realizing that it's your time to create, and that you can no longer afford to only criticize what has been created in the past that you didn't like. It is now your time to take the reins. And when you take those reins, you have to be accountable for what you create. So you have to realize that you have to hold your vibration in a place that allows you to create at the highest levels. You have to be accountable for your vibration. You have to be accountable for what you create. Time of criticizing what has already been created is over. It's a wrap. Time's up. We're now at the helm. We've now inherited the earth. And when you inherit the earth, when you are the helm, when you are the adults, you have to pivot from worrying about what your parents them did and the old heads did, and worrying about what you gonna do, what you need to do. You got to be accountable. So if you're not being accountable, you're not realizing that it's your time to shine. We in the big leagues now. We're in the big leagues now. If you don't realize none of that, you might be stunting your own level up. So that's our fourth one there. And then our fifth and final way you may, how you're going to realize that you're stunting your level up is you're generally miserable. You're just miserable. You have a bad attitude. You love complaining. Low key, you love complaining. You act like you don't like to complain, but low key, well, I was going to say you get wet when you want to complain. Lord, what is with my mind tonight? Okay. Low key, you like complaining. You're miserable. Okay. Your attitude sucks. You're bitter. You're frustrated. You don't realize you're a cynic. Your cynicism. You are more wrapped up in complaining and poking and prodding at the politicians and at the teachers and at the police and at the pastors and at the royal family and at the celebrities and Will Smith and at Chris and Kim Kardashian and TikTok and the gas prices and the housing prices. You're miserable, my guy. You're miserable, my boy. You're a cynic. All of those frustrated, bitter, unforgiving, all of that vibration is what you're putting out into the world, expecting well-being to align to you, expecting good things to happen in your life, expecting to level up. What you gonna level up into? If that's the vibrational essence of who you are, if you're just miserable. Every time I go on my stories, you know how much people I had to mute this week? Most of y'all is muted on my Instagram. Low key, high key, I'm not gonna put my mouth to the ground to tell you this. The vast majority of y'all is muted on my Instagram because I can't with the miserable. I don't want to hear how you don't like the royal family because of colonization. Meanwhile, you're still doing slave labor at that job, not living out your ancestors' wildest dreams, enslaving yourself. Huh? But you want to point family at a queen who reigned for 70, point finger at the queen who reigned comfortable for 70 years, lived out her duty. Nobility obliges, lived out her duty. You complaining, you a cynic. You want to run, come to social media, come have something to say about colonial, never picked up a book and read nothing about colonial. The only thing you know about colonial is what you saw somebody put on some Twitter. You're a cynic. You're miserable. You have a bad attitude. You're bitter. You're stunting your own level up. Those attitudes don't help you. You got to keep the vibration high. Stop judging other people, especially yourself. I had to work on that this week. I was judging myself and I felt it. I was like, dang, why can't I move? Like, why can't I get up and do what I need to do? Judging what my heart wanted to do. My mind judging what my heart wanted to do. So I'm not immune. I'm sitting up here talking, running my mouth. I'm dead preaching to myself. You got to remember that I'm sitting in my house by myself right now. So when I'm talking this, I'm talking out loud, coaching myself. You guys just happen to be a witness. Clink, 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 clink. Okay. So don't feel no way when you feel like the doll is preaching. You just witnessing me preaching to myself. You just have the luxury of watching. So all of that, it's not cute. It's not cute to always be a cynic, you know what I mean? Or to be sarcastic, or those things stunt your level up. You know what I mean? And you may not even realize that that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? The complaining, the bad attitude, the bitterness, the frustration, the unsatisfaction, the always something to complain about, the watching the 24-hour news cycle, complaining about your baby kids, all of that, you know what I mean? And so I just, you know, I have a hard enough time dealing with my own mess. So I just be muting everybody. I'll be like, mute. Let me just see nature, the monarch butterflies. I just want to see monarch butterflies, Serena Williams, the Obamas, Oprah and Ava's 50th birthday party in Hawaii and Maui. I want to see that. Who else I've been looking at? City Girls on their little tour. I like that. Sometimes they be on the, you know, FSHIT, but I like that. I see them winning. I'm happy for that. That's all I'll be looking at. Because I'm trying to keep the vibration pristine, especially during these times. Because I feel like a lot of change is happening, and I want to be an orchestrator of the direction that at least my life is going in. Yeah. So that's what I have for how to realize you might be stunting your own level up. What say y'all? What are other ways? Y'all got something to say? Y'all want to criticize my ranting tonight? That's okay. Y'all want to criticize my preaching tonight? That's okay. I'm okay with that. I spent the first half an hour talking about the royal family. I spent the whole first half an hour talking about the royal family. Oh, everybody loved this hair this week too, by the way. Anyway, so, and then we got into it. So what say you guys? What's your opinion on this? You know, level up as we defined at the beginning of the broadcast, and how we make sure we're not stunting our own level up. All right, Marjorie is saying can be applied to family history too. Create a new path for the new generation to follow, like generational healing, generational wealth, etc. Yes. Yes. You know what I mean? When you just solely put your observation on what is in front of you, that's already been created. Somebody's already manifested that. Anything that you can see, anything that we're experiencing, somebody has already manifested that. You may have already manifested. Your ancestors, whomever, your ancestors manifested that. Going forward, you are responsible. You have to be accountable for what you're manifesting on behalf of yourself, and to some extent on behalf of our ancestors, because a lot of our ancestors didn't get a chance to fully live out their wildest dreams. That's why when you say I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, they are living through us. So if you're spending your time complaining about what so-and-so did to your ancestors, as opposed to creating what your ancestors want you to create, or creating what you need to create to live out your ancestors' wildest dreams, to live out your own wildest dreams, you're stunting your level up. You got the game fucked up. I know that's a little, I'm seeing 111 on the clock. If you're in the numbers like I am. You know what I mean? You got to pay attention to that. All right. Shopping bestie in the building. Hey, girl. Hey. National Black MBA coming soon. I did a site tour today of the Coca-Cola Museum where we're having our big party. And sis, band, DJ, all of that. Bar, food, all of that, sis. I invite you there, okay? Thank you for being here. Good looking out. Rubes is saying, I've definitely judged myself really hard, and it's affected my productivity towards my dreams. I find therapy, journaling, continue to check in with my deepest desires, puts things into perspective. I feel that. I literally was living this life this week, and I was like, why can't I move forward? What's going on? Judging myself because I wanted to play. I wanted to play. I didn't want to be, do all the work all the time. Sometimes I just want to play. Yeah, I feel that. Rubes is saying, say it. Gratitude is everything. Dropping gems per the usual. Yeah, gems. We were there in spirit at that B-Day party. We picked up those vibes heavy. Which B-Day party? We were there in spirit at that B-Day party. We picked up those vibes heavy. Wait a minute. I'm blanking on which B-Day party was that? Oh, the Oprah and the Ava birthday party. Oh my, that is my dream, to just be able to throw a party, creme de la creme party. No one pay for I fly everybody in. I cater the food. You guys know I love, you might not know this, but putting on large scale events, 500 people at the Lowe's on Miami Beach, 250 people at the Port of Miami, 100 people at the FIU South Campus. I've done all of those things, and I love throwing events. A data jam up in DC at the Innovation Center, 2 of those. You know what I mean? I love doing large scale events. And so when I saw Oprah do that birthday thing for Ava DuVernay, what is she, a director? And she did her 50th birthday party in Maui and just had the food. It was like a 3 or 4 day event. And I was just like, yes, Oprah, living my dream, sis. Living my dream to be able to host in that way where, you know, I get to do all the fun stuff and nobody has to worry about money and it's just taken care of. I really was living vicariously through them. And that sisterhood between Oprah and Ava, how beautiful. You know what I mean? How beautiful. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Marjorie's talking about that judging ourselves too harshly, second guessing our choices. If we follow our gut, we'll be fine. You know what I mean? It's like letting your mind knock you off of the direction that your heart is trying to pull you in, not recognizing that that's what's happening. Sometimes it's fear. You know what I mean? Sometimes, a lot of times we can recognize, oh, I'm scared. It's fear. But sometimes we're judging ourselves. So it's a little bit of a lighter vibration than fear, but judgment is still in that realm of resistance and stopping you from going in the direction, stopping you from easily manifesting. You know, I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy dating, living, loving, ascending, leveling up world. If this is your first time here, I love to have you subscribe. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, good looking out, smash that like button. I love the appreciation. I love the love. Free and easy way to support the content, to support the doll, to support the channel and the It's Kells Collective, the community. And if you're a part of the replay gang, drop this emoji in the chat and let me know your thoughts on tonight's live. We always are learning from the collective wisdom of the It's Kells community, whether you're watching us live, like Marjorie is, like the shopping bestie is, like Rubes is, or if you are watching us on replay gang. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me tonight. We're going to call it a night. I hope the gems was heavy per the usual. You know what I mean? And we'll be back again at it for next week, week 38, on our 52-week journey to go live each and every Friday night, as promised, from the top of the year to the bottom of the year. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you again next week. Bye, guys.